Dr. Lisa worked alone at the Mountain Research Station, studying strange signals from deep space. For 3 years she had been listening to the stars, hoping to find proof that humans weren't alone in the universe. Her friends called her crazy. Her family worried she was wasting her life in the middle of nowhere. That Tuesday morning started like any other. Lisa sat at her computer checking data from the night before. Coffee grew cold beside her keyboard as numbers scrolled across multiple screens. Then something made her stop. A new signal pattern appeared, not random like background noise, but organized, purposeful. Her hands shook as she adjusted the equipment. This wasn't like anything she'd seen before. The pattern repeated every few seconds, getting stronger. Whatever was sending this signal was getting closer. Lisa grabbed her jacket and rushed outside. The morning air was crisp and clear. She scanned the sky but saw nothing unusual. Then she heard it, a low humming sound coming from the forest behind the station. The sound grew louder, then suddenly stopped. Something had crashed in the woods. Lisa's heart pounded as she gathered her emergency kit. She knew she should call for help, but what if she was wrong? What if this was just a weather balloon or experimental aircraft? She decided to investigate first. The walk through the forest took 20 minutes. Broken branches and scorched earth marked a clear path. Whatever had fallen was big. Lisa followed the destruction until she found it. A metallic object, unlike anything she'd ever seen. The surface was smooth and dark, almost mirror-like, but it seemed to shift and change as she looked at it. The craft was about the size of a small car, egg-shaped with no visible doors or windows. It hummed softly, and warm air shimmered around it. Lisa approached carefully, her scientific training fighting with natural fear. As she got closer, a section of the craft became transparent. Inside, she could see a figure lying motionless. Lisa's breath caught in her throat. It looked human, but different. The being had pale skin that seemed to glow with soft blue light, and long silver hair that moved as if floating in water. Lisa called out, but got no response. She walked around the craft looking for an entrance. When she touched the surface, it felt warm and smooth like glass. Suddenly, the transparent section expanded, creating an opening just big enough for her to crawl through. The inside of the craft was bigger than it looked from outside. Soft light came from the walls themselves, and the air felt thick and strange. The being lay on what looked like a bed, made of the same shifting material as the craft's exterior. Up close, Lisa could see this was definitely not human. The being's features were more refined, almost perfect. Somehow Lisa knew it was female. Skin had that same soft glow, and strange symbols seemed to move just beneath the surface. She was breathing, but each breath was slow and deliberate. Lisa knelt beside the being and gently touched her shoulder. The reaction was instant and shocking. The alien woman's eyes flew open, large silver eyes that seemed to hold depths of stars. She sat up quickly, backing away from Lisa with what looked like fear. The woman spoke in a voice like singing wind. The words were beautiful but meaningless to Lisa. She tried speaking English, then the few other languages she knew. Nothing worked. Then she remembered the translation device in her kit, an experimental piece of equipment designed to identify patterns in unknown languages. Lisa held up her hands to show she meant no harm, then slowly reached for the device. The alien woman watched every movement with those incredible silver eyes. When Lisa activated the translator, it began picking up the woman's words and attempting to process them. The first translations were broken and confusing. Pain. Not. Body. Sensation overwhelming. Never. The device struggled with concepts that didn't exist in human language. But gradually patterns emerged. The alien woman seemed to understand that Lisa was trying to communicate. She spoke more slowly, pointing to herself and saying what might have been her name. The translator rendered it as Zara, probably not accurate, but close enough. Lisa pointed to herself. Lisa, she said clearly. Zara repeated it back with a musical accent that made it sound like poetry. As Zara became calmer, Lisa noticed something strange. Every time she accidentally brushed against the alien woman, Zara would flinch and pull away. Not from pain, but as if the touch was too intense to handle. Her glowing skin would brighten at the contact points, and she would make soft sounds of surprise. Through the struggling translator, fragments of Zara's story began to emerge. She came from far away. Her people were different. They didn't touch each other. The concept seemed to fascinate and terrify her equally. Lisa realized she might be looking at someone who had never experienced physical contact with another being. The idea was both amazing and heartbreaking. How could an entire species exist without touch? How lonely must that be? Zara's ship seemed to be repairing itself, but slowly. Strange lights moved through the walls like a circulation system. Lisa estimated it would take days, maybe weeks, before it was ready to fly again. She made a decision that would change both their lives. Using simple gestures and the failing translator, Lisa invited Zara to come with her to the research station. She could offer food, shelter, and safety while the ship repaired itself. Zara hesitated for a long moment, those silver eyes studying Lisa's face as if reading something written there. Finally, she nodded. As they walked back through the forest together, staying carefully apart to avoid accidental contact, Lisa wondered what she had gotten herself into. She was harboring an alien being whose very existence could change human understanding of the universe. More than that, she was beginning to care about this strange, lonely woman who had fallen from the stars. Neither of them could have imagined how much their lives were about to change. The research station felt different with Zara in it. Lisa had lived alone there for 3 years, but now every corner seemed to buzz with new energy. Zara moved through the space like she was floating, her feet barely making sound on the floor. Her silver hair caught the light from every angle, and that soft glow from her skin made the whole place feel magical. Lisa had set up a spare room for her guest, but Zara seemed confused by human furniture. She stared at the bed for a long time, then chose to rest standing against the wall. When Lisa offered her food, Zara examined each item carefully before declining. She explained through the improving translator that her people absorbed energy directly from their environment. On the second day, Lisa's translation device finally began working properly. The breakthrough came when she realized Zara's language wasn't just words. It included emotional tones that carried meaning. Once the computer learned to recognize these patterns, real conversation became possible. "My people call themselves the Ethereals," Zara explained as they sat in Lisa's lab. She kept herself at least 3 feet away, as if there was an invisible barrier between them. "Long ago, we were like you. We had bodies that needed food and rest. We touched each other for comfort and connection." Lisa leaned forward, fascinated. "What changed?" Zara's silver eyes grew distant. "We evolved. Or so we believed. We learned to exist as pure energy, taking physical form only when necessary. We discovered we could share thoughts and emotions directly, mind to mind. Physical contact became unnecessary." "That sounds amazing," Lisa said. "Like telepathy." "Yes, but..." Zara struggled to find words. "Imagine talking to someone through thick glass. You can see them, hear them, even understand them perfectly, but you can never truly reach them. There's always that barrier." Lisa began to understand. You can share thoughts, but you can't really feel connected. Exactly. Zara's skin flickered brighter for a moment. For centuries, I accepted this as natural. Then I began studying our history, learning about what we used to be. I discovered records of something called comfort, the peace that came from simple physical presence. Stories of warmth that wasn't about temperature, but about feeling safe with another being. She stood and walked to the window, gazing out at the forest. I became obsessed with understanding these lost concepts. My people saw this as regression, a dangerous return to primitive ways. They said I was sick, that I wanted to drag our species backward. "So they exiled you," Lisa said quietly. "I chose exile," Zara corrected. "I couldn't live with the emptiness anymore. I took a ship and began searching the galaxy for others who might understand what I was seeking." Lisa watched her guest carefully. Even standing still, Zara seemed to vibrate with lonely energy. "And what exactly are you seeking?" Zara turned from the window and Lisa saw something vulnerable in those alien eyes. "I want to know what it feels like to be truly satisfied. Not just mentally stimulated or intellectually fulfilled. I want to understand the deep contentment our ancestors wrote about, the kind that came from being genuinely close to another being." "And you think physical contact is the answer?" "I don't know," Zara admitted. "But it's the one thing my people have completely abandoned. In all our pursuit of mental perfection, we lost something essential. I can feel the emptiness where it used to be." Lisa stood and took a step toward Zara, then stopped when she saw the alien woman tense. "What happens when someone touches you?" Zara's skin began to glow more brightly. "It's overwhelming. My people have sensitivity to physical sensation that we never learned to manage. When you touched my shoulder in the ship, it was like every nerve in my body suddenly came alive. I felt things I didn't even know were possible." "Was it painful?" "No," Zara said softly. "That's what frightened me. It felt wonderful and completely terrifying. I had no idea how to process such intense sensation." Lisa realized she was looking at someone who had lived for centuries without ever experiencing a hug, a handshake, or even the casual brush of fingers. The loneliness of it was heartbreaking. "My species is dying," Zara continued, her voice barely above a whisper. "Not physically, but spiritually. We've become so focused on mental connection that we've forgotten how to actually care for each other. We share information perfectly, but we've lost the ability to offer comfort. Children are raised by energy fields. No one holds them when they're frightened or celebrates with them when they succeed." Lisa felt tears forming in her eyes. "That's horrible." "It's efficient," Zara said bitterly. "Or so we tell ourselves. But efficiency isn't the same as fulfillment. I watched my own people becoming more isolated despite being more connected than ever. We know everything about each other's thoughts, but nothing about each other's hearts." "Is that why you left? To find your heart?" Zara looked surprised by the question. Yes, I suppose that's exactly why I left. I wanted to find the part of myself that got lost when my people evolved beyond physical existence." Lisa made a decision that surprised even her. She extended her hand, palm up, toward Zara. "Maybe we can figure it out together." Zara stared at the offered hand for a long moment. "I might not be able to control my reaction." "That's okay," Lisa said gently. "We'll go slow." Very carefully, Zara reached out and touched just the tip of one finger to Lisa's palm. The effect was immediate. Zara's entire body lit up like a constellation, and she gasped as if she'd been struck by lightning. But she didn't pull away. "How does it feel?" Lisa asked. "Like coming home to a place I never knew existed," Zara whispered. And Lisa realized that maybe they were both searching for the same thing, a connection that went deeper than words or thoughts could reach. The next few days changed everything between Lisa and Zara. What started as scientific curiosity grew into something neither of them had expected. Lisa found herself looking forward to their evening conversations, watching the way Zara's face lit up when she learned something new about human culture. Zara proved to be a quick learner. She discovered that humans use touch for many different purposes, not just connection but communication, comfort, and play. Lisa started with the simplest things. She showed Zara how a handshake worked, explaining that it was a way humans greeted each other and showed respect. "You grasp hands and move them up and down," Lisa demonstrated with the air. "It tells the other person you come in peace, that you're equals." Zara practiced the motion carefully, her movements graceful but uncertain. "And this creates connection between your people?" "It's a start," Lisa said. "It's like opening a door. The real connection comes from what happens after." They progressed slowly. Lisa taught Zara about different types of touch. The quick pat on the shoulder that meant encouragement. The gentle touch on the arm that said, "Pay attention." The firm grip that offered support. Each lesson was an adventure for Zara, whose skin would light up in different patterns depending on the type of contact. Your people's sensitivity is incredible, Lisa observed one afternoon as they sat on the station's small porch. You can probably feel things we can't even imagine. Zara nodded, watching clouds move across the sky. But what good is sensitivity if you never use it? It's like having the most beautiful music in the universe but keeping your ears closed. Is that why you really left your home? For music you'd never heard? I left because I was suffocating, Zara said honestly. Imagine living your entire life in a room full of people who can read your thoughts but never look you in the eye. They know everything you're thinking but nothing about who you really are. Lisa tried to imagine it, but couldn't. Even living alone at the research station, she had memories of human contact to sustain her. Her mother's hugs, her sister's hand-holding during scary movies, even awkward first dates. All of it had built layers of understanding about connection that Zara had never experienced. Can I try something? Lisa asked one evening. They were sitting closer now, only about a foot apart instead of 3 feet. Zara had grown more comfortable with proximity, though she still startled at unexpected contact. What do you want to try? Lisa held out both hands, palms up. Take my hands, just hold them. No other purpose except to be connected. Zara hesitated. What if I can't handle it? Then we stop, Lisa said simply. But I think you're stronger than you believe. Very slowly, Zara placed her hands in Lisa's. The glow that spread from the contact was warm and gentle this time, like candlelight instead of lightning. Zara's eyes widened with wonder. This is different, she breathed. How? Before, the touching was always about learning something or testing something. This is just being together. They sat like that for several minutes, hands linked, neither speaking. Lisa watched Zara's face transform from nervous concentration to peaceful amazement. I understand now, Zara said finally. This isn't about the physical sensation. It's about trust. What do you mean? I'm allowing you into my personal space, and you're allowing me into yours. We're both vulnerable, but we're choosing to be vulnerable together. That creates something new between us. Lisa smiled. Now you're getting it. As the days passed, their connection deepened in unexpected ways. Zara began sharing her telepathic abilities with Lisa, creating a link that allowed the human to experience thoughts and emotions directly. The first time it happened, Lisa felt like she was drowning in alien sensation. It's too much, she gasped, pulling back from Zara's touch. I'm sorry, Zara said quickly. I should have warned you. For my people, this is normal communication. It's not bad, Lisa said, trying to catch her breath. It's just intense, like drinking from a fire hose. They worked together to find a gentler way. Zara learned to share just small pieces of her thoughts, while Lisa discovered she could send emotions back through the link. It was clumsy at first, but gradually they developed their own form of communication that combined human touch with ethereal mind sharing. This is what I was searching for, Zara said one night as they sat on the porch, hands linked and thoughts gently intertwined. Not just physical contact or mental connection, but both together. Something new. Lisa felt a warmth in her chest that had nothing to do with Zara's telepathic abilities. She was falling for this strange, lonely woman who had dropped from the stars. But she was also worried. What happens when your ship is ready? She asked quietly. Zara's glow dimmed slightly. I don't know. I can't go back to my people, not after experiencing this, but I can't ask you to leave your life and travel with me. Why not? Zara looked surprised. Because you have a purpose here. Your research, your work, listening to the stars. I won't take that away from you. Lisa squeezed Zara's hands gently. What if I told you that you've become more important to me than any research? What if I said that learning about you, about your people, about this connection we're building, what if that's the greatest discovery of my life? Tears formed in Zara's silver eyes, the first time Lisa had seen her cry. Do you really mean that? I mean it, Lisa said firmly. Besides, someone needs to teach you about hugs, and that's going to take a while. Zara laughed, a sound like silver bells in the wind. What's a hug? Lisa grinned. Oh, we have so much work to do. 3 weeks had passed since Zara's arrival, and Lisa had begun to forget what life was like before her alien friend changed everything. They had developed routines together, morning walks around the research station, afternoon lessons about human culture, evenings spent on the porch sharing stories and gentle contact. But one morning, Lisa woke to find Zara standing at the window, her silver hair flowing as if moved by invisible wind. Her skin was flickering with patterns Lisa had never seen before, rapid pulses of light that seemed almost frantic. Zara, what's wrong? Zara turned, and Lisa saw fear in those beautiful silver eyes. They're coming. Who's coming? My people, the ethereals. I can feel their energy signatures approaching this star system. Zara's glow intensified with each word. They've found me. Lisa felt her heart sink. How long do we have? 3 days, maybe 4. Their ship is massive. It carries the entire Council of Elders. Zara moved away from the window, her movements sharp and nervous. Lisa, there's something I haven't told you. Something important about why I left. Lisa sat down heavily in her chair. She had sensed there was more to Zara's story, but she hadn't pushed for details. Now, seeing the terror in her friend's face, she realized how serious this was. Tell me, Lisa said quietly. Zara began pacing, her bare feet silent on the floor. I told you my people evolved beyond physical contact, but I didn't explain why. It wasn't just progress, it was survival. What do you mean? Thousands of years ago, the ethereals faced extinction. Our birth rates had dropped to almost nothing. Our people were becoming isolated from each other, unable to form the bonds necessary to continue our species. We were dying of loneliness, but we didn't understand that's what it was. Lisa leaned forward, fascinated despite her worry. So you evolved to survive? The elders discovered they could force connection through telepathic linking. Instead of choosing to be close to someone, every ethereal became permanently connected to the collective consciousness. No more loneliness because you could never truly be alone. No more rejection because individual preference was subsumed into group harmony. That sounds, Lisa struggled for words, efficient, but terrifying. It saved our species, but it killed our souls, Zara said bitterly. We survived, but we stopped living. We became a single mind in millions of bodies, thinking the same thoughts, feeling the same emotions. Perfect harmony and absolute emptiness. Lisa began to understand the magnitude of what Zara had done by leaving. You broke free from the collective. It nearly destroyed me, Zara whispered. Imagine being part of a choir your entire life, then suddenly finding yourself singing alone. The silence was overwhelming, but in that silence I heard something I'd never experienced before. My own voice. And now they're coming to bring you back. Zara nodded, her skin dimming to almost human paleness. But it's worse than that, Lisa. I've learned something terrible about my people, something that changes everything. She sat down across from Lisa, close enough that their knees almost touched. The ethereals aren't just dying spiritually, we're dying physically too. Our birth rate has dropped to 0 over the past century. No new ethereals have been born in 100 years. Lisa felt a chill run down her spine. You're an endangered species. We're already extinct. We just haven't admitted it yet. Zara's voice was heavy with sadness. The elders have been hiding this truth from the general population. They keep everyone so focused on maintaining mental harmony that no one questions why there are no children anymore. But why? What changed? Zara reached out and took Lisa's hands, her touch conveying emotions that words couldn't express. Through their link, Lisa felt the weight of cosmic sadness. The collective consciousness is too powerful now, Zara explained. It prevents the kind of individual connection necessary for reproduction. You can't create new life when everyone thinks and feels exactly the same. Creation requires difference, conflict, passion. All the things we've eliminated. Lisa squeezed Zara's hands gently. And you figured this out? I suspected it before I left, but being here with you confirmed it. The satisfaction I was searching for isn't just about physical touch or mental connection. It's about being seen and accepted as an individual by another individual. It's about choosing to be vulnerable with someone specific, not being forced into vulnerability with everyone. The implications hit Lisa like a tidal wave. You're not just an exile, you're hope. I might be the only ethereal who remembers how to form individual bonds. If my people could learn what I've learned here. Zara's eyes brightened with possibility. Maybe we could save ourselves. But they're coming to take you back to the collective. Zara nodded grimly. The elders see my independence as a disease that might spread. They can't allow other ethereals to break free, because then the collective would weaken. They'd rather maintain perfect harmony until the last of us dies. Lisa stood up and began pacing now, her mind racing. We have to find a way to show them what you've discovered. They need to see that individual connection is the answer, not the problem. How do we convince an entire species to abandon everything they believe about evolution and progress? Lisa turned to face her friend, determination growing in her chest. We show them what real satisfaction looks like. We prove that two individuals choosing to connect can create something more powerful than forced unity. Zara's skin began to glow with hope. You'd do that? Risk everything to help save my people? Zara, in 3 weeks, you've taught me more about connection and satisfaction than I learned in 30 years of human relationships. If there's a chance to save your species and maybe help mine understand something deeper about consciousness and connection? Lisa smiled. Besides, someone's got to teach the ethereals about hugs. Despite everything, Zara laughed. But then her expression grew serious again. Lisa, if we do this, there's no going back. The council will either accept what we've learned, or they'll see us both as threats to their survival. Lisa took Zara's glowing hands in hers, feeling the warmth and trust that flowed between them. Then we better make sure we're very convincing.